Terribly sorry, old chap. Looks like no go.
China tea, sir. It was rather bad luck, sir, almost reaching the border like that.
Yes. Quite disturbing. Such a dreadful waste.
Yes, I'm sure the department will miss them, sir.
Well, no doubt. I've no doubt at all. But it was such a good plan. I mean, we've used far worse and got away with it.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, sir. Some of our plans have been, well, absolutely terrible, sir, haven't they?
Hmm?
Well, what I mean, sir, a peasant and his wife, it was a lovely touch, sir.
Yes, I thought so. You know, we've still got to get Guarini across the frontier.
Absolutely, sir. As a matter of fact, sir, I was wondering if we couldn't do something with trains.
Oh, no, Ryland. That's been done to death.
Exactly, sir. That's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
But if I don't get Guarini out in the next 2 days, DI-7's going to start squawking.
Yes, sir, I take your point, sir.
You know where Jason King is at the moment?
King, sir?
Yes, King. The novelist who used to be with S. There.
Well, I'm sure it won't take a second to find out, sir. No. Duty desk.
Sir.
King. What's his present position?
Christine, darling, there is a time and place for everything.
I do so agree.
Phew. This isn't it, darling.
Jason, I'm just not going to argue with you. If you don't give way gracefully, I shall have to resort to brute force.
Christine, if you don't stop, I shall get out of this car and walk home.
Jason, remember where you are.
When you've located him, make him an offer for the film rights of this novel.
An offer, sir?
And make sure that he accepts.
If you'll excuse me saying so, sir, are you quite sure that the Treasury will wear it? I mean, making a film can be a pricey business, sir. There's the distribution problem, sir.
I didn't say anything about making a film. We just need to buy the film rights. Use our chap in Berlin. Tell him to pass himself off as one of those new wave film directors.
Berlin. Is anything to do with Guarini, sir?
Of course it's to do with Guarini. Plan B. Operations will spell it out for you.
Plan B, a page before dying. It's a jolly good idea, sir.
What, Ryland?
Well, getting King involved, sir. Using a novel to get him to Berlin, sir.
As far as I'm concerned, the novel is absolute rubbish. However, it describes a perfect method of bringing a man from East Berlin into West Berlin.
Jason King.
Punctual, I like that.
Malapert. I'm not sure I approve of that in a director.
Lee Forsh.
How do you do? With her toes? Really?
All right, girls. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch. Readily available if required.
How hospitable.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wonderful to meet you, Mr. King.
May I call you?
Please do.
You write quite a readable novel, Mr. King. Fast, racy, and original. But you don't look like a writer to me.
Surprise is my forte. I even mentioned that you thought it had pace, flair, and ingenuity.
I'm going to make a page before dying into the greatest spy film ever made.
Oh, goody.
I'm gonna make it big, Jason. Spectacle, color, action.
Spectacle.
And, of course, realism. Every character, every move, every line of dialogue will ring with integrity, J.K.
Integrity.
So the first thing is, we must get the changes agreed on before we can go to a script.
Changes?
Listen, Jay, I want realism. Sure, you can get away with it in a book, but on the large screen. I mean, your plot is so full of holes you could drive a truck through.
Do go on, Mr. Corse.
Forsh. Lee Forsh. Now look, Jay, baby. You got this guy in East Berlin with half the secret police after him, right?
Correct.
Then in comes Mark Kane to spring him over the wall, right?
There are certain subtleties.
Okay, sure. But the plot is that Kane gets him out of East Berlin in a safe. A safe he has 1 minute and 30 seconds to get into, and he doesn't have the combination. I won't buy it, Jay, baby. I won't insult the audience's intelligence by putting it on a screen.
Why not? You've just insulted mine.
How's that, Jay, baby?
You invite me to Berlin, at great inconvenience to myself, I may add, and then you have the temerity to say the foundation of my plot is false. I take considerable pride in the accuracy of my detail, Mr.
Forsh, Lee Forsh. Now, look, you can't get in and out of a safe just like that, and your entire story depends on it.
Of course it does. It's the whole point. It's absolute foolproof method of getting a man out of East Germany.
You can't prove that?
Of course I can prove it. I never put anything down on paper that I haven't tried out myself.
I had a feeling you might take this line. And I never argue, especially with writers. Here's a safe. It's all yours. You got 2 minutes.
Okay, V, baby. 2 minutes.
You're sure about this?
I saw him go in a few minutes ago. The girl's left. He has been there ever since.
And it definitely was Jason King.
Of course it was. I'm not stupid.
Right? Means they're using Plan B.
So?
So, use it. Use your pattern. And make sure I get clear, won't you?
Of course.
Well, Jay, baby?
I've still got 30 seconds.
Sure.
Come combination's quite different from the one I described.
Okay. So take another minute, J-Baby.
Thank you. Horst? What are you doing?
Push!
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jason King, please.
I'm sorry, sir, but he's out at the moment.
Oh, I see. What's his room number?
409, but as I said, he's not in. Excuse me. Hello? Hello. Grand Hotel. Yeah, bitte. Hello. Grand Hotel. Now then, sir. Hello, Mr. King.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Someone was asking for you.
Oh, did they leave a name?
No, sir, he didn't.
Thank you.
Also, was machen Sie hier, huh? You better have a pretty good explanation for making a mess of my clothes.
Ja, Herr King, es ist gut, dass Sie hier gekommen sind. Die Hotelrezeption hat mir gesagt, dass der Hoteldetektiv hier gewesen sei und es sei ein Einbrecher hier gewesen und wir wollten wissen, ob...
Really?
King, are you there? You all right?
Who are you?
Jensen, Martin Jensen, Section 4, CIA.
Fancy.
Can I help you?
No, thanks. I think I've dislocated my back.
Well, I've got an offer that's going to make you sit right up. I mean, before you know it.
Really?
We're interested in a certain book of yours, A Page Before Dying.
Why would the CIA be interested in my book?
Well, let's say we can't think of a better excuse to drop $100 grand in your lap.
Pounds?
Pounds.
Quite an offer.
Well, we know other people are in the market.
Oh, yours is only the second offer I've had today.
Really? Well, I'm quite sure that if you can guarantee delivery, we're not going to haggle. Does that make you feel better?
Oh, much better. The maid's going to have a lovely time, isn't she? Somehow, I don't think the CIA are making that kind of offer for a book, Mr. So on your way.
Look, we want that route and we're willing to pay.
I think everybody's gone off their tiny little rockers today. I shall be leaving this room in 2 minutes and catching the first available flight to Paris, so you can tell whoever it is you're working for, Mr.
Jensen.
Quite. Good day to you. Oh, hello. You're the one who speaks English. Can you get me a seat on the next available flight to Paris? That's right. Paris. Can't speak English at all.
Come, King. Leaving us so soon?
Look, I'm in the bathroom and something has just crawled out of the bidet. I'll call you back.
No. Actually, I've got the next room. Pity about Vorsch, wasn't it?
Vorsch? Your man?
Yes, we used him now and again. Just as well they didn't get you.
Rylance, why don't you go back to Whitehall and tell that so-called superior of yours, that silky serpent from the pits, that I'm not playing, not at any price.
You know, you really are an impetuous fellow, King. I mean, look at the way you left Vorsch's apartment. You didn't even wait for the police.
Well, they could see exactly what happened. There was nothing I could really tell them, was there, Rylance?
No, well, there we have a problem, of course. If you leave Berlin and the police were to find out, well, there's no knowing what they might think, is there?
How have you managed to get quite so low, Rylance?
Ryland.
Hello? No, it was too fat and ugly to step on. And I dare say I'll find some way of disposing of it. What? 7 o'clock? No, that's much too early for me. Look, you'd better cancel it. Yes. Don't bother. Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, that's much more sensible. I'm sure it would have hurt Sir Brian, setting you up on a murder charge.
No, Rylance, you're not a creepy crawly at all. You're a worm, a Whitehall worm, wallowing in tea and treachery.
Tea and treachery. You know, I rather like that. Not as much as a page as
Oh, don't you?
No.
Don't you?
A page before dying. Well, it's got a certain...
Has it? What are you after? Why is my book so important to you? Apart from the fact that Welsh Scrooge is willing to pay £80,000 for the film rights.
Well, yes, Sir Brian was perturbed by the increase. Well, we read it. We liked it. And we're going to do it.
Going to do it? You mean as a film?
No. No, for real. But the only problem is, who's going to play Mark Caine?
Man's greatest monument to stupidity.
Yes, well, they'll pull it down one day.
That's what they said about the Great Wall of China.
Well, King, what do you think?
I think it's ridiculous to expect all the ingredients to be there just when you want them.
Which ingredients?
Well, the safes, for instance. In my book, the plan depends on the existence of a firm in West Berlin that exports safes to offices and banks in East Berlin. Well, in fiction, you can invent one. In fact, it'd take ages to establish such a business.
Exactly.
Well, then. I might have known.
Well, we tried to patent it on the line you took. Called it Zegren Safes. Kept it small. Had it run by the German businessman whose health is failing. And most of the work is done by...
His beautiful assistant, Helga. Page 27.
Only my name is Ingrid.
Oh, much more attractive.
Yes, we warned her about you, King. She went on a course. She is what you might say king-proof.
Oh, really?
I get a bonus.
Well, I hope it's king size. What do you know about the East Berlin side of the operation?
A small office in Bergenstrasse with a warehouse at the rear. The manager is a Herr Schultz, completely trustworthy.
Hey, how about bringing the safes back?
We give an unconditional guarantee. We're rather proud of that.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant me.
If anything goes wrong with the safe, we replace it with a new one. And as long as our invoices show this, we're allowed to bring the old one back.
Well, King, what do you say?
I refuse.
Why?
Oh, Rylance, hasn't it occurred to you the other side have read my book?
Of course it's occurred to us.
They'll be waiting for this.
No, I doubt that, you know. If they checked up on every scatterbrained scheme thought up by you novelists, there'd be no trade at all between the two sides.
No trade at all. I'd like that. And it is not a scatterbrain scheme.
Exactly. And that is the reason we intend to use it. I mean, they'd never believe we'd actually go to such desperate lengths.
Who are you bringing over the wall?
Would you believe it if I told you Peter Pan?
No, I wouldn't. He'd manage on his own. All right, you refuse to tell me. Well, I can't blame you. But whoever it is, the answer is still no. Have you quite finished?
Now you're here, why don't you see the whole operation?
You've been going to the Eastern Sector?
It's a fascinating place, King.
No.
We need someone to do a test.
Try a professional.
Sir Brian thought you'd be tickled pink.
I am not tickled, and very seldom pink.
You don't believe it will work?
No, I didn't say that. In fact, I think you've done remarkably well.
Well, this end...
Well, why don't you take off that awful wig and moustache and pop over the wall? Ingrid and I would have had lunch by the time you get back. I think your bonus will be quite safe over lunch, don't you?
Depends where we're eating.
You're being difficult, King.
Shall we?
All right, lunch. But when you get back...
After lunch, I shall catch the first plane back to Paris. I have a novel to write. It's about spies and counter-spies and British intelligence. It's a comedy.
There was nothing funny about the way Vosh died.
No, there wasn't. But whoever killed him knew a great deal more about this than I do. Bye-bye, Rylands. Do you know that little beer killer in Kunststrasse?
Yes, I know.
Would you like to hear that?
The work is quite simple. In a way, I like it.
Without cloak and dagger.
I'm afraid the kind of work I do is very different from the kind you write about.
I'm delighted to hear it. Hey, Oba. Salam, Bida. Have you been to the Eastern Sector?
No. London feels it's essential that I protect my cover. You see, they know we're trying to get someone out. Vosh is the third agent to be killed in the past week.
I hope this man is worth it.
He's top priority. I'm sure they wouldn't have tried to get you unless it was absolutely necessary.
That whining Welsh watering leak from Whitehall. He'd sell the national debt if he'd save his department 5 new pence. Don't look now, but we're being invaded. Is he a friend of yours?
No, he's not.
What's wrong with you, King? 1 minute you're playing it cool. The next time I see you, you look as though you're starting the countdown.
Why don't you go and buy another book and I'll autograph it for you?
All I want is a piece of the action.
Turn to page 107.
Now, don't get smart with me. I know about her, I know about the safes, and what I don't know is right here. All I want to do is get in and pick up a little package and get out.
Well, why us?
Oh, come on now. You've got a hotline and transportation. 1 trip, that's all I need.
All right. Go to this address, and they'll give you all the help you need.
What's this?
It's the address of a bicycle shop. Turn the handlebars towards Checkpoint Charlie and pedal like mad.
Okay, don't say I didn't try the friendly way.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Sorry, Jensen, but Mr. King is leaving for Paris this afternoon. He won't play with us either.
What do you want, Lannick?
Just a chat.
But you'd rather cut my throat if you thought I were here alone.
Unfortunately, you have 1 man in here and 2 more outside. We have no quarrel, Jensen.
Not this week.
You can do me a favor.
Sure.
And your friend, Mr. King. A very interesting book, but it lacks depth.
What else do you expect from decadent Western literature?
Perhaps you would care to convey a word of advice to the author for me.
Okay. What's your advice?
Well, just tell Mr. King that we have read his book with interest, and in its present form we find it highly entertaining. In another form, it could be disastrous.
Meaning?
If he were, for example, to try and make a documentary, the title would much more apply to him.
Your information's way out of date, Lannick. King's going back to Paris. He leaves in a couple of hours.
Oh, that's excellent, excellent. Especially for him.
You'll stay for coffee?
No, I don't think so. My homeopathic doctor says that it overstimulates me. We mustn't jeopardize your bonus, must we?
Oh, well, it's a very small bonus. It doesn't give a girl much incentive.
Oh, all right. Little black. And lots of that.
While you're here, you might as well look at your safe. I think you'll find it very impressive.
I will.
Battery-powered internal lighting, full ventilation.
It is impressive. I'll take a dozen.
Switch the light on. I'll show you how we've improved on your original idea.
Well, I must say, you've gone through a great deal of trouble. Yes, I like that. Oh, I like these drawers. Careful. Don't knock me in, will you? I'm not quite sure about the position of this lamp, though. Oi, Ingrid. Open up. My homeopathic doctor says I've got claustrophobia.
A remarkably convincing performance.
Next time you can do your own dirty work.
Oh, I know my limitations, my dear. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I told you she was king-proof, old chap.
Rylands, get me out of here.
Oh, now, come on, King, come on. Don't lose your cool.
Get me out of here, Rylands.
Oh, by the way, we've disconnected the emergency release.
Hello? They're ready for collection. Can you come right away? Good. Thank you.
We don't like this any more than you do, old chap, but the truth is there's no alternative.
Then you better find another one fast.
You should be honored, old chap. You're the only one we can trust.
I'm warning you, Ryland. If you don't get me out of here, I'll blow your network wide open.
Now, look, they'll be coming to pick you up in a few minutes, so listen. Schultz will open the safe in Bergenstrasse. He'll give you the address of the company you're going to break into. There you'll find a chap called Gorini. Gorini, Gorini, waiting for you there. Put him in the safe, slam the door, and then jam the combination. Yes, that's all, old chap.
All? When I get out there, there's only one thing I'm going to do. I'm going straight to the authorities. Do you hear, Rylands?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that, old chap. I mean, illegal entry into East Berlin is a very nasty business. I've heard they shoot spies over there.
I refuse to leave this office.
I'm sorry, old chap. Have a safe journey.
He seemed furious.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
You just don't seem to care what happens to him.
Don't I? I wonder what gave you that impression. What are you doing here?
Relax, Ryland.
I am relaxed.
That wasn't time to set up a rendezvous. It's urgent.
It's intolerable, absolutely intolerable.
Calm down, will you?
No, I won't. If CIA have jeopardized our cover by you blatantly walking through the front door in broad daylight...
I came through a side door.
Oh, so that makes it all right, does it?
Ryland, listen to me.
If you were followed, Jensen, if you were followed, I will personally make a protest to Washington.
Have you finished?
Yes, for the moment.
I've just had a chat with Lanik about your man King.
Lanik, he's one of them.
Well, of course he is. Now, what he wanted to say was...
We'll have you, Jensen. If you've blown our cover, we'll have you.
Ah, come on. Every pro knows you've been setting this place up. Why, as soon as Jason King arrived, you couldn't buy a copy of A Page Before Dying for love or money.
Well, nobody told me. What about our special relationship?
Oh, you've got to be joking, Ryland. Now, the only reason I've come here is to pass the message on to King.
Well, what message?
To tell him to stay out of East Berlin. They're waiting for him. Well, he is going back to Paris, isn't he? Well, isn't he?
Well, no. No, not exactly. At a rough guess, I would say he's passing through checkpoint Charlie about now.
Na gut. Lass das hier stehen.
Dankeschön. Danke.
Schultz. Schultz.
Of course, you're the one who the bank manager's going to call when the alarm goes off. How do you do?
I hope you had a good journey.
I've always wanted to go on a package tour.
I'm sure you will need a drink.
Oh, thank you.
What's all this? Carini.
First on the left. Seem to have better brief than I do.
No idea you were so adept, Mr. King.
You'd do me a great service, Mr. Greene, if you kept your opinions to yourself.
Try 05409.
Shh. What's that?
It was a combination for the safe.
Are you ready?
Yes, thank you, Mr. King.
And the alarm goes inside.
Chapter 14, paragraph 5.
At least you've read the book.
Of course I have. And you know it would make a very good film.
He's inside now, Herr Kommandant.
Schultz!
Schulze!
Prost.
Cheers. You speak English?
Presumably I have to speak in German. Meine Herren?
Hauptmann. Kapitän Hoffmann.
I beg your pardon.
Counter-espionage, the People's Republic.
I'm sure your credentials are quite in order, Hauptmann.
Stand up.
I'm only going to get my cigarettes. There's no need to panic.
You will stay as you are. And you will speak only when you are spoken to. Das ist wirklich der Mann?
Ja, wirklich. Jason King, Schriftsteller, jetzt Spion.
Thank you. Novelist turned spy.
It has been a great pleasure, Herr Schultz.
Thank you, Herr King. Perhaps you should have written romantic novels.
Radwagen kommt schon. Geht mal helfen.
I gather you're going to make a specific charge against me.
There are so many. Attempting to smuggle Gorini out of the country is sufficient in itself to warrant the death penalty.
Did I do that?
On the evidence, I think you would find it difficult to deny, Mr. King. Also mach ab.
Das ist kaputt. It's badly damaged.
Then blow it open.
You mean with explosives? Can't do that.
Why not, Mr. King? Is there something delicate inside?
Well, I have no idea, but I'm sure it's very impractical.
I don't care whether it's impractical or not. I simply want to examine the contents unless you have some specific information.
No, none at all.
Then you won't admit that you locked Gorini in here tonight?
I've been ridiculous. You don't think I usually go around dressed up like this? I'm doing research on a new novel. It was necessary for me to appear as a common burglar.
Quatsch. Dort drüben. Shall we see how delicate Gorini is? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Los. Vorsicht.
What is this? Believe me, Herr Hauptmann, I don't know.
Where is Gorini?
Who is Gorini?
Well, that's the call we've been waiting for, Ingrid. Gorini has just taken off on a scheduled flight to London.
That's good news, Mr. Ryland.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, that just about wraps it up.
Not quite, sir, surely.
Oh?
There's still Jason King.
King, yes. Well, a few years in a labor camp might do him some good.
Okay, Ryland. How did you get him out of here?
I beg your pardon?
Guarini, he took off 5 minutes ago. How?
Who is, Guarini?
Oh, you pulled a fast one. I don't know how yet, but this entire business, safes, east-west branches, Jason King, it all smells, Ryland. Everything smells.
Yes, it must be rather odorous to you, Jensen.
I've got Washington, Paris, and Bonn on my back.
Life can be so trying at times. But if it's any consolation to you, we're not out the wood yet ourselves. They've still got King.
They've got him?
You know, I could have been rather optimistic about a labor camp. They could shoot him.
What are you going to do about him?
Well, I'm expecting reinforcements any moment.
You don't have any reinforcements.
Oh, I beg to differ, sir. Ryland?
Yes.
Are you one of us, or one of them, or one of the others?
He's Jensen, sir, CIA.
Oh, one of those. Huh.
He has some idea, sir, that in fact we got a chap called Guarini out this morning, sir.
Oh, has he? Guarini, eh? Quite a feather in our cap if we had, eh, Ryland?
Quite a coup, sir.
Listen, don't you guys ever give up? I know you got him out. All I want is a friendly exchange of information.
Is that coffee?
Yes, Sir Brian. Can I get you some?
No tea, I suppose?
No, sir.
Very well, coffee then. Thank you.
Look, just give me the nod. Do you have a route, or don't you?
How many operatives, Mr. Jensen, do you have? On call, I mean.
That's classified information. I can't tell you.
14 operatives, sir. 5 seconded and 12 locals.
Oh, remarkable. What do you do all day?
We get by.
I'd like to borrow your men.
What do you want them for?
But it seems that Mr. King has been detained, quite innocently, by a rather notorious branch of their secret police, and we've got to get him out. However, the thought of leaving him there does rather bring out the worst in me.
I'm sorry, sir. I do know the feeling.
Nevertheless, despite everything else, the fellow is British. One must make an attempt.
Where is Guarini?
Don't you get bored with these repetitious questions?
Our interview can come to an end whenever you wish.
Who is Guarini? Where is Guarini? I want to know what is Guarini. Sounds to me like some sort of obscure Italian cheese. The only charge you might bring against me is one of illegal entry, which means, of course, you'll have to deport me.
You were followed. We know you broke into the Pendergrass Industries. We know you opened the safe. Why?
We don't. The only thing we do know is that you blew up the safe and found nothing inside. What are you trying to prove? That I broke into an office and crudely hammered at a lock which I could open in 5 minutes?
Yes. Why?
And there, I'm as baffled as you are. I'm afraid it's all part of a very complicated plot.
Lock him in the storerooms.
Not again.
No. I advise you to think things over. We'll talk again later.
What are you going to do here, Hauptmann?
I don't know.
Can't hold King here forever.
Of course not. If I arrest him, I as good as admit that I let Guarini slip through my fingers.
But you can't let him go.
I know. No. Mr. King continues to be uncooperative. An accident seems the only way out.
Just a friendly little chat, Lanik.
We thought you might like cheering up.
We have nothing to talk about.
Oh, sure we have. What about Guarini for openers? I understand he's just arrived in London a few minutes ago.
So?
So we need your help due to certain complications that I won't bother you with now. We need a body.
A body?
An important body.
With certain intrinsic value.
Like yours.
You wouldn't be stupid enough to try anything in here.
Now, who's being stupid, Lanik?
In a crowded bar.
You know, you really should read that.
I have. It doesn't interest me.
Everyone has it these days.
Surely they can't all be...
Did you get the picture, old chap? The car's waiting outside. Shall we?
Yes. Yes, this is Captain Hoffman. Yes, I heard. Don't do anything till you hear from me. I said do nothing. Schultz. Have they bring King out?
What is wrong, Herr Captain?
They've arrested Lannick in West Berlin. They want to exchange him.
For King? Are you going to?
Lannick. If he gets himself caught, he can take the consequences. Get King.
Ja, Herr Kapitän. King has gone. His guards were in his cell, tied up.
A tot of whiskey.
Oh, how very kind, Sir Brian, thank you.
Yes, it went very well, Ryland, very well indeed.
Yes, I thought so too. A magnificent achievement on your part, Sir Brian, if I may say so.
Oh, you may say so, Ryland, you may say so.
The Guarini business was successfully concluded, Sir Brian?
Oh, completely. Prime Minister was over the moon. The information was even more important than we first thought.
Oh, splendid. Pity about King, though, wasn't it, sir?
Oh, great pity. But one learns to take the rough with the smooth, Ryland. The rough with the smooth. Oh, Jason, my dear boy, how nice to see you. We were just talking about you.
I demand an apology.
Where did you get that uniform?
Well, Sir Brian. What? Same place I got the plane.
The plane?
It's at London Airport with a very puzzled pilot. I'm waiting, Sir Brian. There are more comfortable ways of leaving East Germany than in a safe.
Oh, Jason, do calm down. Have a cup of tea.
I don't want a cup of tea. You used me as a decoy, and I want an explanation.
Oh, I'm sorry, old boy. Official Secrets Act and all that, you know. Balderdash. Well, my dear fellow, what could we do? The only way of letting them think that we were using your novel was to get you there.
I suppose it never occurred to your tiny budget mind that they were trying to kill me.
Oh, now, you must believe me when I tell you that I had no idea they'd go that far. Oh, do sit down for a moment, Jason, and remove that damn silly monocle.
I can't, it's stuck. How did Guarini get out?
Oh, top secret, old boy, and all that. But as you've been so helpful... Oh, you might...
You little Whitehall worm.
You might read this novel and draw your own conclusions.
How dare you use this novel instead of mine? After all I've done for your department. And a funeral. I mean, it's so obvious.
Oh, not, my dear fellow, when everyone thinks he's in a safe.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
I knew you'd take it splendidly.
And I shall take it even more splendidly when I receive your considerable check.
What check?
For the film rights. Our contract is still binding. I must get out of this ridiculous uniform. It's so out of fashion. Bye-bye, Rylands. Look after my pilot for me, will you? And don't forget, Brian, send the check to my Swiss account.
But that would involve us in a tax problem.
You, not me. Auf Wiedersehen, meine Herren.